And good morning and welcome to This Day.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, January 3rd, and it's also National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day.
That would be good if there was bourbon inside the cherry.
You know what? I think they started out with bourbon in them.
I think they did.
I'll tell you a little bit about that later.
All right, on our show today from the Old Pros, we have a couple guests on, and Terry Louis Fisher and Cheryl Stritch. They're going to be talking about an episode they just did, Tales from the Woods, it's called. Also, we have a couple people from the Orange County Grand Jury. If you have ever decided that perhaps you'd like to go on the grand jury, well, you're going to find out what it's about and how to do it. Also, we're going to bring you a segment from the Globe headlines. Lisa's going to be giving some of those headlines and showing some photos, and we're going to bring a segment with Tim Moy, our security chief.
And today's meetings, we have the 3rd Landscape Committee from 9 to 11:30 this morning in the boardroom. And let's go to Ken to give us our weather.
Well, we got some beautiful weather out there today. In fact, you can see it's all crystal clear once again, but well, don't let that fool you. May be very nice today and also a little cool out as it will be tomorrow, which I like this weather. This is what it should be, right? This is our winter, about as much as winter as we get around here. However, things are going to change. Let me get out of the way and show you here. Saturday and Sunday, rain due in now. I told you about it yesterday. It's now due in a little bit earlier. First, it looks like it was going to be not until very late at night, overnight. Now it looks like for Orange County, we should start getting it around 7 p.m. And as we get into Sunday, you're looking at moderate to heavy rain. So parts of Southern California, anywhere from a ½ inch to maybe up to even 2 inches from Saturday evening in total all the way through Sunday, then partly cloudy on Monday. So that's a decent amount of rain. Then as we get into next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to see another system come in very similar to what we'll have over the weekend. So we could be looking, in the course of about a week of, maybe from 1 to 3 inches of rain or even more in certain areas. So a lot of rain coming in, but that's very good news. Let's take a look around Orange County and beyond today, and very similar to what we had yesterday. A tad bit warmer, as you can see, especially in North OC around Anaheim, and those areas, they're up by about 3 or 4 degrees. And really everywhere is up by anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 degrees. So a little bit warmer today. Big Bear is up by, almost about 8 degrees from yesterday, 48, and Palm Springs 64. So just a beautiful, beautiful day out today. And go out and enjoy it, because this would be a nice day just to maybe head down to Laguna Beach. This time of year it's nice and calm down there, and just have a wonderful day. All right.
Mind and Memory Program at Mission Hospital is an outpatient program specifically designed for patients with a memory disorder who have developed a mental health issue, such as depression, anxiety, or paranoia. Patients are welcome every day, Monday through Friday, up to 4 days a week. On-site meals and snacks are included, and transportation to and from the program is available. The program focuses on improvement in overall mood, function, and concentration, as well as a decrease in depression or anxiety. Call today to find out if you or your loved one qualifies for the Mind and Memory Program.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru, where families come first. As a family-ran dealership, your family's safety is our #1 priority. Come in and find the perfect Subaru from the largest selection of Subarus in Orange County. All models are top safety picks by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. We offer the ideal balance of safety, performance, and economy. Irvine Subaru, more Subarus, more safety, more performance, more love.
At El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sales services.
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation. You get exclusive AAA member benefits, special offers on unforgettable experiences, and the travel planning knowledge of your own AAA travel agent. When you travel with AAA, you get the vacation of your dreams. To save on a pleasant holidays vacation, visit your local AAA travel agent today.
Are you looking for a better way to manage your medication? MedBox by AmeriPharma has redefined the pharmacy experience. No more pill organizers and vials. When we fill your prescriptions, you get all your medications conveniently packaged by the dose and delivered to your door at no additional cost. This means no change in insurance, copays, or out-of-pocket expenses. Call our specialists today and discover the new way of pharmacy. MedBox by AmeriPharma.
Hello, Laguna Woods. I would like to invite you to watch our new television show called Inspiration for Today. It's on every weekday morning right here on Channel 6 at 7:30 a.m. Saddleback Church of Laguna Woods hopes to start your day with encouraging stories, inspirational music, and lots of laughs, too. Remember, Saddleback Church meets weekly in Clubhouse 5 at 9 and 11. We would love to serve you a free breakfast and have you join with us for worship.
And welcome back. Well, have you ever thought about being on the Orange County Grand Jury? Well, there's an opportunity coming up for you. And I'd like to welcome two current members of the OC Grand Jury. First of all, the foreperson, Birgit Sale. Nice to meet you. Great to have you here today.
Good morning.
And then we have a member of the jury as well, Larry Gephardt. Larry, good to see you.
Great to be here.
And this is such an important job, but people really don't understand the grand jury. And I think that's what we want to talk about first. Before we get into how somebody can become a member, let's talk about what the grand jury is and what it isn't. So who would like to handle that first?
Well, I'll start, and Larry can add into it. Basically, the grand jury is actually a creature of the California statute, and it's been around since the forming of California.
Okay.
And it has been, every county has a grand jury, but here in Orange County, we have both a civil and a criminal part to be played.
All right.
So the civil part of it is that we are charged with, number one, investigating the organization and the records and accounts of local government.
Okay.
And we absolutely must every year also do a report on our current jails. And as far as the criminal part of it is, we do criminal indictments. So in other words, the district attorney brings a case, many cases actually, to us where we determine whether there's enough probable cause to move the case forward and charge that defendant with a crime and then set it for trial. So we never actually adjudicate or find guilt or innocence in a criminal matter. All we do is find if there's enough probable cause. And then the other part of it that we do, we also answer and respond to and possibly investigate complaints from citizens of Orange County. So if citizens have some information about one of our departments or one of the Orange County agencies that they would like the grand jury to look at, that's something else we do. So the citizens have the right to bring a complaint directly to the grand jury as well.
All right, Larry, how does the district attorney determine what should be brought forth to the grand jury? Because not every crime is brought, or alleged crime, or defendant, or allegations is brought to the grand jury. That would,
I believe, Ken, that the district attorney, in an expeditious way, where there's been continuances in cases, high-profile cases, to sort of bring an abrupt ending to them, brings the indictment to the grand jury, and accelerates the process. If probable cause is brought by the grand jury, then it would go to jury trial or a plea.
Okay. So does that mean you only oversee or recommend cases that involved local and county government, or it can be any kind of crime or alleged
I
crime?
believe it would be county or cities
Okay.
in Orange County crime.
Okay.
And these would be criminal only, not civil as in the Pettit Court.
Okay. So Berger, this would be, you know, not to get any specifics, but over the last year, of course, there's been looked into this jail system.
Correct.
That is something where you folks would be involved in.
Well, we do have the obligation to at least inspect the jails,
Yeah.
which we have actually done with tours.
Okay.
And that's one of the really cool things about being on the grand jury. You actually get to do tours of any of the agencies here in the county of Orange. And so we've done the prisons, we've done the water
Wow.
districts, we've done the crime lab, we've done the coroner's office. I mean, we have actually done 22 tours. And one of the sort of really interesting one that we ended up doing is an overnight trip that we did to see the Colorado aqueduct. And so that was an
Okay.
overnight trip actually, and we learned all about how water comes here to Orange County, especially South County, which
Okay.
is reliant
Right.
on water being brought in. So it's a very, very interesting process.
Yeah.
And of course, we can't talk about any specifics that we're actually looking into, but that's how we start. We start by learning about the county and going on tours. And also, we've had 33 different sessions where we've had the heads of any of our agencies, we've had Board of Supervisors come and talk to us actually in the grand jury room. And of course, they can be very candid
Yeah.
because they don't, nobody's allowed to talk about what was said. So that neither they nor we get to talk about it. So they can be very, very candid. So you really do learn a lot
Yeah.
in kind of the behind the scenes government that we have.
So Larry, I would think you go on some of these tours like the aqueduct system.
Yes.
In case something comes up or something is pending that may deal with a water district or whatever it might be.
Ken, I think the meet and greets that we have where we meet people, the leaders of government, and the tours that we go on are basically for our learning
Yeah.
about county government. And the tours are basically, you know, adventures. Again, not being on the grand jury, you would never have the opportunity to see the inner workings of,
Yeah,
say, the
yeah.
John Wayne Airport, again, as Birgit said, the whole aqueduct system and how we import the water we need and depend on, and how we assure ourselves of the rationing. And all of this, this all is part of the journey.
Yeah.
And the journey is exciting and fascinating and something that you would never think of or never experience in your life. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
And let's talk about that opportunity. First, how many grand jurors are there at any
We
one
have
time?
19.
Okay.
And and what was really interesting about being on the grand jury, nobody tells you how to do anything because we don't report to the courts. We do not report to county government. We really are an independent body. And so we basically form our committees. We have committees on cities, county government, health and human services, environment and transportation, criminal justice, and I'm missing one. Oh, environment and transportation.
Yes, and special issues and ethics.
Yes, exactly. And so we form into committees, and then of course we have a promotion committee, which is part of sort of what we're doing here today. And then we also have an editing committee. So 19 people, but we all come into different parts,
Yeah.
and then you can have those committees do the investigation, and they will be participating in doing the report at the end of the term.
And Larry, what's the commitment?
The commitment is 1 year.
Okay.
An important point to dovetail on Birgit's comment on the 19 jurors. The jurors we have on the panel, we have at least one from each of the 5 supervisoral districts in the county. There are 5 districts. There's at least one representative of each of those districts. The commitment, to answer your question, is 1 year. We typically work 25 to 30 hours a week, 5 days a week.
Okay, in Santa Ana?
Yes.
At the Civic Center. We get a small stipend, $50 a day. We get an automobile gas allowance, which is based on a formula, government formula of so much per mile. And I would say that's pretty much what the commitment is.
And when does it start? This current, I guess I should say the 2019.
It always starts on July 1st and goes to June 30th.
But it takes, I understand, the reason you're here now is it takes quite a deal of background checks and things.
Yes.
That's why if people want to do this, in fact, we, it's coming up now by January 18th to apply, because I know just from the past, there's a lot of steps involved, am I right?
Yes, absolutely. It starts with the application process, and the beauty of the website, which is right there, ocgrandjury.org, people can actually go online and actually apply online if they choose. They can also contact the court system at that phone number right there and have one mailed or help in getting it filled out. And then once they're all filled out, then of course you start the whole process. There is a background investigation that has to be done. There is also interviews with judges, as a part of the whole thing. But the most interesting part of it is that 30 grand jurors are chosen as qualified. Okay. And then I guess it was in June, Larry, there's actually, in the big courtroom, you actually have like a bingo lottery kind of a drum, and everybody's names gets put in there. And then each name is pulled out. And then when you get to 19, those are the grand jurors.
Okay, so the final 30, it becomes the luck of the draw.
Exactly, which makes it really interesting, because to Larry's point, at the 30 are really comprised of equal numbers from each of the 5 supervisorial districts. But by the luck of the draw, it changes slightly.
So we have the qualifications, some of them that are we have on the screen here. And is there any qualification as far as do you need to have a college degree, a PhD, anything like that? I'm looking here, it's just basically, I guess you have to have a high school education, right?
I think the main thing is that you can converse and understand the English language. That's probably the most important part, because the idea is this is really sort of a citizen watchdog organization. So there are no specific qualifications for educational levels or anything of that type.
And during this investigation process, it's important that when the applications are received by the court and they're first vetted to reduce the number to hopefully around 90, then that number is reduced from 90 down to the 30, as Birgit said, for the reason of deciphering people and their education and their background, their communication skills. It's also important and I learned this through this experience, that the reason we have the drawing is so that there is no person that sneaks through the investigation process with an agenda. Okay, got it. So there's real objectivity here, because it is a lottery pick. So that's really important, and that selection process is really tantamount to what our charge is.
Very interesting. So again, people have till the 18th of this month.
Correct.
Very easy to get information. If you forget the phone number, ocgrandjury.org, and from there you'll see links to how to become a member. You can also get information on what the grand jury is about, a little bit more in depth and what it does. And as far as the commitment is involved, I've had several people on in the past every year, and they all say just what a wonderful and unique experience it is. If you get down to the 30 and you're not picked, do you have to reapply, or are you given a little bit more consideration the next year? How does that work?
Well, if you're not, first of all, assuming nobody leaves in the night, during the term, then of course you still have your intact 19. However, if somebody leaves and it goes to number 20, gets called to see if that person will come in. The people that are left behind, so to speak, that are really the alternates, they would have to apply again for the next year. However, because they can immediately apply for the following year. Whereas once Larry and I have finished our term here, we would have to wait a whole year before
Okay.
we could ever apply again.
Okay.
So, but those people, those 11 people that are alternates, yes, they absolutely do have to apply, and there's no guarantee that just
Right.
because they qualified this time that they would necessarily be on next year.
Okay, so it's a new
New
jury
process.
every year.
Correct.
But to add on that, you can also, again, with that, with a year's separation, we have 3 people on our current panel that have been grand jurors previously.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it as many times as you want, as long as you go through that same process.
Yeah.
And of course, with the experience, there's a good chance that you would be one of the 30.
Right.
If you did it
right.
a second time or a third time or a fourth time.
All right, very good. A pleasure to have you both on. And it's just fascinating every year I get to hear about this. And what a wonderful opportunity. If you would like to seek this out and find out more information, again, go to ocgrandjury.org. You get all the information there. And you have till the 18th. You know, you can do your application online. So go ahead, and I think that would be one of the best ways that you can get it out there very quickly. But what a rewarding experience. Yeah. Great
Absolutely.
to have you on.
All right. Well, thank you
Nice to
so
meet you.
much for
Glad to
having
be here,
us.
Ken.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Oh, we'll get you
Yes,
unhooked in just a
I know.
minute. We'll be right back.
When I was first diagnosed, they gave me about 2 years to live.
After they took it out, they did some additional tests and it found out that yes, it was a cancerous tumor.
I had an aorta dissection and that triggered a stroke on top of it.
I've been in treatment a little over 2 years. They saved my life.
If I hadn't been pregnant, they would not have found that mass. If it hadn't been for Ben, I might not be here.
It was amazing that he has knowledge to do what he has to do to save me.
Welcome back. I have Tim Moy, who's here to give us our security update. And this time we're going to talk about the captain's jobs, especially when there are emergencies or something going on in the community. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So we're talking about our good neighbor captains.
Right, the good neighbor captains. And so tell me a little bit about what their job is.
Yeah, so they're part of the Disaster Preparedness Task Force, and we would love to have as many volunteers step forward for that position as possible. We've got about 400 in the community. We need about 1,000.
Oh, wow.
In the event of some type of an emergency, and maybe first responders are not available, we need our residents to take on that leadership role and to check on their neighbors and just to report it to us.
Okay.
That's the primary responsibility is, you know, we're going to ask them to don a vest, that yellow vest that we give them. We provide training to them.
Right.
And they'll just go throughout the building or wherever they live, check on their neighbors, and then report that information to us.
Okay.
So we get a grasp of what's taking place in the community, where we need to apply our resources. And then when the sheriff and the fire department are available in the event of a major catastrophe, we know where to direct them. And then there's some other things that we can do in the meantime,
right,
where they can go, where they can receive some first aid. So we've got a pretty good plan in place.
Okay.
We just need more volunteers to step forward.
Okay, so you have 400, but you want 1,000, right?
At
That's
least,
what you'd like. Okay,
right.
So where is it that you're short? I mean, is it per community or what?
Yeah, so
where are you short?
It's pretty much spread throughout the community. We've got some areas that, you know, you've got captains that can take care of an entire building or even a cul-de-sac or a neighborhood, and that's great. But the bottom line is, if you don't know who your good neighbor captain is, probably don't have one.
Oh, okay.
Right, and so you can get a hold of us at security. We'll let you know. We had some training yesterday.
Right, tell me how that went.
It went well. We had about 25 people show up, you know, and normally we get anywhere from 25 to 50 people. We've got a handout where we provide the directions.
Okay.
This is not complicated. We're not asking you to do CPR or first aid, although we do provide that training.
Okay.
But it's just it's a person who's willing to step forward in a leadership role and just check on their neighbors, make sure they're okay. And that's why we call it good neighbors.
A good neighbor, right.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So now once you are a captain or a good neighbor captain, what can the residents expect from that person?
Right, that's a great question. So we actually give our captains a little kit here, and you can see it on the screen behind you. We're going to lay out their responsibilities, but the first thing they need to do is go introduce themselves.
Okay.
So we give them that yellow vest to
Do
wear.
they have that yellow vest now?
They do.
Okay.
So if you get a knock on your door and it's your neighbor and they're wearing a yellow vest, that means they've stepped forward and said, hey, I'm going to be your good neighbor captain.
Okay.
And in the event of an emergency, major incident, a power outage, an earthquake, a major fire that has threatened our community, you're probably going to get a knock on the door, and that person in that vest is going to check on you, maybe give you an update. They're going to give directions on sheltering in place or potentially evacuations. We're going to convert our clubhouses into care and reception centers, so there's a place to go. But the primary responsibility is they're just going to check on your well-being. How are you doing? Are you injured? If there's a major earthquake, do we need to get you out of here? Is the building unstable? That type of thing.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. I actually want to go to the next slide if we could, because I want to make sure that the community actually sees all the different things that the captains are going to be doing. So the duties of the good neighbor captain is what you just said. So they check on the family, they get the vest, and they have a clipboard. And what kind of forms would they have inside there? Is that just forms for them to know, or forms for the residents to have?
Right, kind of both. So we're going to ask them to understand who their neighbors are and have that information already pre-filled out. So who lives right around them? Hopefully they've developed a relationship with them. So
kind of
that
like
they
a kind of neighborhood watch type
exactly,
of thing.
right. And then when they go in there, and depending on whether or not what that person wants to share, they may say, hey, I've got a medical condition. We may go check on them first in the event of an emergency. Hey, I know Margaret has got a hip problem, doesn't move around well. I'm going to go check on her, make sure she's okay. Can she get out? Is she going to need assistance? That type of thing. And then our good neighbor captain is not necessarily going to try to help her right on the scene. She's going to report that information up to our emergency operations center.
How will they communicate it? Are they going to have like radios, or
we do have radios at the clubhouses.
Oh, okay. So will they go to the clubhouses first and then go to the neighborhood?
No, yeah, great question.
I mean, because you want to go get the radio, right?
Right. So their first job is to go check on their neighbors. They fill out this form that basically has boxes to check if there's any injuries. Is the building damaged? And then they're going to take that information, bring it to the clubhouse. We have a person at the clubhouse who is then going to get it to our emergency operations center, so that we're getting all this information, and then we can disperse our resources out as appropriate.
All right, good. Yeah, let's talk about the emergency operations plan, because I'm thinking in my mind a ton of different questions. Like, what happens if we do have an earthquake and some of the roads are messed up? How are the people going to get from their community to the clubhouse to get all the necessary stuff they need?
Right. So that's part of the emergency operations plan. We've got executives and management and supervisors who've been trained in emergency management. And this plan is not something that we're just kind of put together. We're not shooting from the hip. This is a national standard. We followed FEMA guidelines, Department of Homeland Security. We brought in a vendor. We put in a plan that can stand to any other plan across the county. So every city has to have one. And the city of Laguna Woods does have an emergency operations plan. So do we. And it's only because, hey, if first responders are not immediately available, we're going to have to fend for ourselves for a while. Look at what's going on in the Carolinas right now with that hurricane that came through. And the devastation is so severe that FEMA and the fire and the law, they just can't get everywhere.
Right.
And so
we shipped 1,000 or so people from California, didn't
absolutely.
we? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and you know, hey, our hope in this is that if something were to happen, our first responders are available.
Exactly.
That it's maybe it's concentrated to a certain area where we can pull resources.
Right.
There are those partnerships from Orange County to LA to San Diego.
Right.
So if it's just concentrated in our area, we're pretty confident that we'll get first responders here to help us.
Okay.
If it's widespread, if it's a regional issue, maybe not so much. So we just want to be able to educate our residents to prepare themselves.
Right.
As you know, this is National Preparedness Month.
Right, National Preparedness Month.
Right, and that means that's across the nation that this initiative is encouraging people to put a kit together, have a plan, make sure that you have water for several days, you have dry goods, you've got your medication, you have batteries, you have a flashlight, you have a radio, all those little things. And you can find that on our website if you go to security and then disaster preparedness.
Okay.
I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but this is the month
But it's good to know. I mean, now's
absolutely.
the time to figure it out. And they also have those packs, too, that you can pick up down there. I forget what area is that?
That's our disaster
That's the
preparedness
disaster
office,
preparedness office. That's
right on the first floor.
Okay. Good.
Next month, in October, we have the Great California Shakeout, and that's another initiative that takes place across the state.
Right.
This time, we're going to do a kind of a live exercise where we try to get volunteers to come in to one of our clubhouses. You're going to see some email blasts go out. We're looking for volunteers for that to serve as actors.
Oh.
Yeah, and just to put our people to the test. So let's say we have our clubhouse, we've converted it into a care and reception center. Now we want people to come in and test us. Hey, my building, my power's out. I need someplace to stay. I'm a minor cut injury. Who can help me?
Right.
And that's a place you can go. So we'll be looking for volunteers, but stay tuned for more information on that.
Perfect. All right, good. So we're actually showing some hazards, and I know that we really don't see that many hazards here. Knock on wood. Like we have earthquakes. We've had some fires. We haven't really had such terrible storms. I mean, maybe down by the ocean more because of the surge or something coming in, but not too bad here, right?
Right. Well, if you look at our state and the fires that have taken place, and of course the threat of earthquakes, we're knock on wood here. We're long overdue. I mean, we live on a fault. So we've got to be ready for an earthquake. You look at I think the North Ridge several years ago.
Yeah.
And I know there were some slides on fires. The Laguna
the
fire.
93 fire.
93, and if you look at that map, you could see that it just came just short of Laguna Woods.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So a lot of different types of threats. You see obviously the earthquake. The one on the lower right there is that North Ridge, and you can see the type of destruction a major shake.
Well, and some of our buildings are older. I mean, hopefully they've been retrofitted, some of them to help with that, but not all of them.
Right, and so we're gonna, if in the event of a major earthquake, we're gonna have to get out there with our engineers and to assess the damage.
Right.
If a building looks uninhabitable, we've got to move our people out. Where can they go?
Right.
We'll be working with our Emergency Operations Center for the county.
Right.
There's a lot of things here. I want our residents to know we have a plan.
Right.
We know what we're doing. We have partnerships with the county, with the city. Again, and you have to because of the area we live in.
Right. We're not trying to scare anybody. We're just trying them to be prepared. I mean, it is a scary thing, but you guys are following what we call the incident command.
Right, ICS. Right.
ICS,
yes.
okay,
Incident
and that's
command
national,
system.
right?
It is, and that's part of NIMS, National Incident Management System.
Okay.
So we all follow that. I was trained on it through the Sheriff's Department. All our personnel and security supervisors have been trained on incident command, and there's a process of how you respond to emergencies. So again, we're not doing it differently than the sheriff or the fire. We're all working together. We're using the same terms. We're the same verbiage, the same protocols, the same positions.
Right.
We have an operations, a logistics, a planning, a finance chief, as do every other ICS as well.
Well, good. Well, good thing you're here. I mean, it's good to have. I mean, I think we're in really good hands. So if somebody was interested in becoming a Good Neighbor Captain, or if they just had questions about some of the stuff that we've talked about, who should they call?
Right. Give us a call at security
Okay,
and
and that's
580-1400.
Perfect.
We will then get in contact with you. And if you want to be a good neighbor captain, we'd love to have you. If you just want to know, do I even have one in my neighborhood?
Okay.
Give us a call.
Okay, and you'll have all the list of who's there.
We have the database. We're looking for more. Although, again, we had training yesterday. There will be additional training. And we can do, one-on-one training as well. If you're interested in stepping forward, come on in. We'll get you that packet and we'll set you up.
You need about 600 more.
At least.
So hopefully we'll get that. All right, well, thank you for the information.
Got it. Thank
Good
you.
to have you. And you can get your information from the security department to be a good neighbor captain. So step up and participate. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha Na Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village television. Grease for peace.
Welcome back. I have Cheryl Strick and Terry Louise Fisher here with me with the Old Pros. And we've been talking a little bit about this new soap opera that's coming, but I've got the writer and the director here who are going to tell us a little bit that it's really not a soap opera, it's more of a drama, mini-series, all sorts of things rolled into one. So Cheryl, let's start with you. Give me a little overview.
Well, the Tales from the Woods it starts off with 4 women from Laguna Woods, and the characters are really pretty interesting. There's Jackie, who is she's done everything right in her marriage. She had a wonderful home. She took care of it perfectly. She raised her kids. She did everything that you're supposed to do. And then her husband left her for the whore from Gate 4. I actually play the whore from Gate 4.
Oh, gosh.
So she has no joy in her life. She's unbelievably miserable. Then there's Lauren, who is a lawyer. Lauren had to go back to work full-time because her husband developed pancreatic cancer. She had to earn the money to pay for a full-time nurse to take care of him. Mm-hmm. He got better. He went into remission, and he left her for the nurse. So now she's paying alimony to him and the nurse. She hates men.
Okay.
And then there's Jane, who tries to make everything just right. She's a widow. She's been a widow for 3 years. Her husband died of a massive heart attack. And now she's starting to look around and find a guy. Okay. And then there's Morgana. Morgana's sister was Jackie's longtime elementary school friend. And Morgana's a washed-up cruise singer. And now she's trying to make it on the senior circuit. So her sister has worked it out with Jackie that Morgana can move in. And Morgana moves in with bundles and packages, and she's a little sloppy and kind of hippie, and a big old dog.
Big old dog.
And Jackie hates dogs. And Jackie hates mess. And that's the way the story starts.
So very interesting that this is kind of based a little bit loosely on what's going on here in Laguna Woods, right?
Well, I guess. I mean, you find all kinds of people here. And I just thought it would be fun to explore. When you call it a soap opera, I think most people think more in terms of, tragedy, and there's going to be fighting, and there's going to be heartache and death. This is going to be much more lighthearted. I mean, this is going to be a lighthearted view of what goes on in a retirement community where people are, I call it the third act. What do you do in your third act? Mm-hmm. And this is really about, these are 4 women having to reinvent themselves in later age. I mean, they're not going to be able to just kind of coast and do what they've always done because it's blown up in their face.
Right.
So now they're all starting over, which I think is always really interesting. What are my new goals? Mm-hmm. What do I want to do with the rest of my life? Mm-hmm. What's going to be fun? What's going to turn me on?
Right.
So that's really what we're exploring, and I think it'll be fun. I just think of it as long-form drama.
Right.
Think of it like as a long mini-series. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're. Oh, and she the star of the show who we left out, the big sloppy dog is Cheryl's dog, who really I fell in love with her dog. And I said, the dog has got to be in this. And if there's any reason to watch this, it's for Teddy, who is the star. Teddy is the star. Teddy is the star. He is fabulous. And he's just going to be lying there like a big rug on the floor. And he's just, you got to tune in to see Teddy, if nothing else.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about some differences for you. So you've written for Cagney and Lacey and also LA Law. Obviously some serious stuff. And then you go into something like this. So how do you make that transition?
There's not that big a transition. LA Law, I was the co-creator and the writer-producer of LA Law. We always had comedic elements, and it was very funny. I did it with Steve Bochco, and people would always say, I could tell which scenes Steve wrote. He wrote all the sensitive, sweet scenes, and you wrote the smut. And it would always be completely the opposite. I would write the raunchy, funny scenes that people would remember. I mean, I always had a taste for that. You know, much more than writing the serious scenes, he wrote the kind of heartfelt, serious stuff.
Okay.
And so it's not that big a transition. I'm not a comedy writer, but I love comedic situations.
Okay.
And I love looking at things like a slightly skewed way of looking at it. When you hit things dead on, and I find it kind of boring. You just have to give it a different view.
Well, I think you kind of have to look at it that way, especially given the nature of, like you're saying, your third act, right? So you don't want it to be all depressing.
Exactly.
You want it to be kind of real life, where you will find many comedic things happen, right?
Total. And the major thing, if you watch anything about older people, it's almost like they're a different species. They're not like the same species. They have different wants. They act kind of weird. I just hate that. I hate, and all they talk about are their ailments. And this is when you watch TV. I mean, it's like, even when I used to write, if you were casting someone older, the description would be old woman, old man. It was like they were interchangeable. And this is going to be much more about the individuality and what are people actually doing.
Right.
And just, I just want a completely different sense when you watch this. I don't like old people humor. I've always hated it. I mean, I have such an antipathy toward it. So anyway, this is going to be different. If you know, it's not going to have the, oh, I'm an old guy and I'm, you know, can barely, if I get up this morning, I'm happy. Whatever it is, I'm hoping this will be fun. I'm hoping this will be a kind of escapist and just give everybody a half hour of fun and enjoyment and maybe people that they relate to.
You know, Lisa, I hear that there's a clip that's available.
Oh yeah, we do have one. So if we can show that, that will be fun. That will give people a little bit of idea
a little
of what's
taste
going
of what's
on.
going on.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and show that now.
Come on, Jackie, don't be such a stick in the mud. Come with me to the dance. What do you have to lose?
Oh, I don't know. My self-respect for one thing. What if Marshall's there with her?
Just put on that sexy red dress of yours. He'll see what he's missing.
The one thing I always knew about Marshall, with all his faults, the one thing I always knew was that he was reliable and honest. So tell me, Jane, how in God's name could he do this to me?
I know it hurts like hell, but it's not going to do you any good to keep rehashing it.
So you're saying I should just move on?
I just want you to be happy.
And you think I'd be happy if I could just forgive and forget?
That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, how could I possibly still be angry? I'd have to be a shrew not to forgive him for refinancing the condo, taking all the money for his cockamamie new business, and running off with the whore from gate 4.
We're in agreement there, Jackie. I only hope that when he comes to his senses, it's you then who could decide whether you want to take him back or not, right? Where is she anyway? All this gorgeous food is going to get ruined.
Lauren's new here. She doesn't know that no one comes fashionably late to anything. You can't believe what this woman's been through. We bonded in the laundry room over horrible husband stories. Hers got sick, pancreatic cancer. She had to go back to work to support him and pay for a full-time nurse.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Oh, miraculously, he went into remission.
That looks great. Are you excited, right?
I'm so excited. It just finished yesterday. Editing just finished yesterday, so this is just so exciting for me. And it's going to premiere tomorrow at 6 p.m.
All right.
It will be shown Mondays at 12 and Fridays at 6 p.m. throughout the month of January. That's going to be episode 1. Episode 2 starts in February, and it continues on like that.
Okay, so we've got, so it's Tales from the Woods, and it's airing at 12 p.m. on Mondays, 6 p.m. on Fridays throughout the whole month of January. However, the very first one is this Friday, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Are you guys having like a premiere party?
I think we will, yes. We will.
Well, you should. You
Yes.
got it. I mean, that's the fun of having this as a kickoff, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
good.
yes.
Well, congratulations. It looks so fun, and it was very nice to meet you.
nice to
And
meet you.
congratulations to you. Welcome to
Thanks
you know
so
the
much.
woods
Thanks so
here
much.
in our village.
Join
and
us at our premiere party.
I will, with champagne in tow.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks
All
so
right.
much for having
You're
us. That's
welcome.
great.
Take care.
And remember, it's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Tales from the Woods. Don't forget, you can't miss the dog.
That's right.
We'll be right back after this.
I choose to make friends out of neighbors.
I choose to start a new chapter.
I choose to live an active lifestyle.
Choose to experience the good life at Villa Valencia. Call or visit us today.
For more information, visit medterracbd.com.
I just love that ring. Where'd you get it?
I got it at the jewelry box. I saw it on Facebook, and then I went in and bought it. They have the most unique, awesome pre-owned pieces for amazing prices.
The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest, voted best jewelry store in Orange County for 8 straight years, offering unmatched prices on fine jewelry and watches, refurbished to new condition.
Visit us in our store or shop our website for just arrived items.
The Jewelry Box. It's about trust.
Adapt to It believes that you should be able to do the activities at home that are important to you. Being safe and independent in bathing and mobility will make you feel happy and self-sufficient. Let the professionals at Adapt to It assist you to choose the perfect items to help you live the beautiful life you deserve. Adapt to It delivers, bills Medicare, and many of our products are made here in the USA. When you can't change it, adapt to it.
Jennifer Carmarker couldn't be here with us, so we've got the Globe headlines for you today. So on the front page of the Globe, the first story is about Councilwoman Sherry Horn's proposal for wheelchair accessible EV charging stations. Well, it was chosen as the top 10 to move forward in the California senior legislature. So that's an awesome thing, and that's her picture right there. So we can go ahead and show that on our screen. Yeah, so she went ahead and she was fighting for this, and it actually went through. So that is just amazing. Then we also have Judith Troutman, who was selected to fill the vacant seat on the GRF board, and you can find her picture on the front page as well. Then we have the letters to the editor. We have volunteers. We have a letter about newspaper delivery. Then we also have this letter that's a thank you from Olivia Pagano, who is the adoptions director of the Cat Club. She says, as the year ends and a new year approaches, I wanted to acknowledge and thank the residents who have opened their hearts and homes to either foster or adopt 40 cats from other residents who no longer are able to care for their beloved pet. And if you want to read the full story, full letter, you can go to page 13 of the Globe. And remember, you can always get your copy of the Globe on the first floor of the Community Services Building, located in our building on the first floor right at the front desk. and they can go ahead and get that for you if you don't have it delivered. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Once I came to alignment, things changed.
Here, they take time with you, and if there's any question, they answers it.
It's a good place to go because those people there care about you.
They are a compassionate group. It's almost like you're coming to a second home.
It takes a team effort to provide compassionate care. At Health Plus Medical Supply and El Toro Pharmacy, your personal attention is our top priority. We have everything you need, including stair lifts, rollators, knee walkers, wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, scooters, and car lifts. And we provide all maintenance and installation. Health Plus is located inside El Toro Pharmacy, where we provide the same compassion for your pharmacy and drugstore needs, located in Moulton Plaza.
At El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sale services.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Welcome back. Our Friday movie is The Sound of Music Live, but it's not the original that I thought it was the original. Okay, so it's The Sound of Music Live, and it's about 2 hours and 35 minutes, obviously a musical. It's about an apprentice nun tasked with caring for the children of a retired naval officer who finds herself falling in love with him as the Nazi invasion of Austria looms on the horizon. So now I didn't recognize any of these actors in it. So Cara Toynton, Julian Ovenden, and Alexander Armstrong. And this was made in December of 2015. So
Yes.
obviously another remake of The Sound of Music.
Yeah, but originally, I think the music is, a lot of the music is the same because remember, this was originally a play, Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Right.
And I think the movie with Julie Andrews, I think it had a couple songs that were added specifically for the film, so those wouldn't be in here, but the original music is.
Well, in any case.
So the
Sound of
Hills are
Music-
still alive.
The Hills are still alive in any version.
It's just not with Julie Andrews.
Yeah, right, and that's on January 4th at 2 and 7 p.m.
All right, now the movie coming up on Monday is Keira Knightley as Colette, and Colette is this was a biography, kind of it's a drama, historical biography, and although it's not a documentary, Colette is pushed by her husband to write novels under his name. Upon their success, she fights to make her talents known. And after moving to Paris, author Colette agrees to ghostwrite a semi-autobiographical novel for her husband. Its success soon inspires her to fight for creative ownership and overcome the societal constraints of the 20th century. She wrote many books, and they were basically about her life as a teenager, kind of coming of age.
Oh.
And this is rated R for some adult content in it because her life was basically rated
R.
Yes. Not Keira Knightley, but
No, just the character.
Colette herself.
Yes.
Good movie, and this came out last year, 2018. That's last year.
Oh my gosh, that's right. It's only 3 days. Give us some
It's
time.
only 3 days.
Okay, so we've got a couple of interesting things. So we've got the audition. Well, wait, we have this January 14th, though. That's before that.
Okay.
So we've got a Laguna Woods Men's Golf Club 36th Annual President's Ball that's going to be on January 14th at Clubhouse 5. And dinner is provided by Yolanda, which I hear is really delicious. Club members are $100 per couple, but if you're a non-member, it's $65 per person. So if you're a member, it's a little bit better. They are going to have cocktails at 5:30 and dinner at 6:45 p.m., a hosted open bar, and music of close harmony. So that sounds like fun. And that is going to be, if you have any information, if you want any information, you can pay and register online at LagunaWoodsMenGolfClub.org. So that's LWMGC.org.
Yeah.
So that sounds fun.
Yeah, it does. Now here's something that's really fun. If you've ever wanted to be part of the pageant of the Masters, yes, it doesn't start until the summer. However, they're having a casting call now from January 4th to the 6th. And the reason is, you know, they already got the theme planned. We don't know what it is, but they start working on the theme in the fall.
Right.
So if you would like to see about becoming a part of this, you can do so, and you can go online and find out information on this. Just Google Pageant of the Masters, and then there they'll have a link to how to get involved with this. But it starts tomorrow through the 6th, and you can be a statue.
The only caveat is you have to be able to stand in one place for, what, 90 seconds?
Yeah, no, 5
minutes.
minutes. Is it
5
90 seconds?
minutes?
I don't know what it is.
Well, you have to be able to stand for a while.
It'll
and
feel
do not
like
move.
5 minutes.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
How's our weather today?
Yes. Hey, the weather is absolutely beautiful. I love this weather. It is crystal clear out there and cool, you know, but still very nice. In fact, yesterday you could have short sleeves on for at least about an hour, maybe. A little bit warmer today by about 3 to 4 degrees throughout Orange County. Rain is due in Saturday evening, overnight until Sunday, and this could be a decent amount of rain. And then moving on until next week, we're going to see the same type of a system coming in probably Tuesday into Wednesday. So a good amount of rain starting this weekend through next week on and off. And you can see all the temperatures are up today by about 3 to 4 degrees and really nice out. Big Bear 48, Palm Springs 64, everywhere else in the county low to upper 60s. So
I need that Palm
really nice.
Springs to be like 70-ish.
Well, it should be normally this time of the year, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's
well,
cool out there.
we'll keep an eye on that. All right,
Yeah.
tomorrow we have Sterling Financial, we have a United update, and then Cotty Petrie Norris will be visiting us to let us know what is going to be her duties, I guess.
Yeah, well, she is the assembly person for this. I had to think what her position was. But
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day
and
in the
also
village.
I think, oh yes, I was looking for something else too. All right, there's one other slot that I didn't mention, but anyway.
Okay, bye-bye.
We'll see you tomorrow. Good report.